All right. So this week we're going to be going into Greek and Latin root words and prefixes and suffixes. So the English language has been influenced by many different languages. So many of the words we use today come from Greek and Latin. Like, for instance, tele means distant, scope means a sea, bi means two, tri, like tricycle, three, bio means life, cycle means round. So what we're many of our words are English words are adding prefixes and suffix to the root word will change the meaning. Like if we put a un in front of the root word, means not. Re means again. Dis means opposite of. Suffixes come after the end of the word. Full means full of. Less means without. So it can change the root. So again, what those are attached to is this root word. And that's what we're going to call it. We're going to be looking at Latin and Greek root words. And we're going to start breaking this apart, a lot of words up into parts to see if we can find the root word and look at the suffix and prefix and see if we can figure out the word's meaning. So, for instance, like if we had the root word of happy, and we added this prefix of un, that means not or opposite of happy. So we just changed the meaning of that root word. So this week we're going to be thinking of just start off in a fun way with phobias. And phobias are what you're afraid of. It's a great fear of, not just a little fear of like, maybe spiders creep you out a little bit, but I mean like one that like you just your whole body shuts down or you just kind of start uh, going have a really great fear of. So the word phobia comes from the ancient Greek word phobos, which means fear. So phobia just means fear, and actually means great fear of. It's a common root word in many English words, and we're going to be looking at changing some of the prefixes to the phobia and see if we could come up with the meaning. For instance, ornitho means bird, so that means, and phobia means great fear of. So that means we have a great fear of birds. A lot of times we start with, when we say the definition, we'll start with the root. Hydro, that means, so we have a great fear of, and you can see how they did that here, of water. So on this one, all we have to do is connect it up to the water. Claustrophobia. A lot of people have this where they want to get in elevators and they confined spaces really freak them out. So claustro, okay, means enclosed spaces. Phobia means great fear of. So great fear of enclosed spaces. Arachno means spider, and we're going to be talking about that how arachnid um, arachne it is in mythology and how that word came about. But right now, we're going to be looking at great fear of spiders, but not just a little fear, like, oh, I just don't want to touch them. They kind of creep me out. I'm okay. But once you see one, you just start shaking. You can't do anything. You freeze. I mean, you start crying. It's just a really great fear of. And agora means open spaces where a lot of people have claustrophobia, which is closed spaces. So a lot of people have just too much. They don't like open spaces. So they have a great fear of wide open spaces. And this one is real. It's a real word. And if you don't like long words, they made a long word for your phobia. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia. That'll be actually a fun bonus word if you want to spell it. This week is only on meaning, though. The bonus word is just a fun one you can do if you want to spell this one out. Kids in the past have really done well on that. Don't have to do it if you don't want to. If you break it apart, hippo, pato, monstro, so you can see all those big words, sesquipedaliophobia. The ones you're going to be really responsible for this week are knowing these. Phobia just means a great fear of. We already went over acro, the great, and or arachnophobia. Oro means gold in Latin. Oro, AU is a symbol to on the periodic chart. So science uses a lot of Latin and Greek. Great fear of gold. And carno means meat, like you're a carnivore. You're carnivorous. You eat meat. So if you, but some people have a great fear of meat. So you're carnophobia. Chromo means color. Chrono means time, which we'll talk about that one when we get into Latin and Greek or Greek mythology. Again, we go into claustrophobia. Cyclo, which is bikes. Frigio, like your refrigerator, fear of cold. Gatto, which means cat. So if you're got a great fear of cats. Hydro, fear of water. Ichthyophobia, this is the Latin name for fish. So ichthyophobia. Octo, we already know that one for studying the months. That oct means 8. So if you have a great fear of number 8. Phono means writing. So if you have a great fear of writing, not just you don't like to do it, but a great fear of it. Photo means light. So a great fear of the light. And pyro means fire. So if you're a pyrophobia, you have a great fear of fire. Rupo means dirt. Zoosophobia is ancient fear of ancient gods, and zoo just means animals. So like when you go to the zoo, you're going to the Latin and Greek word for animals. It just says animals there on top. But if you have a great fear of them, you have a zoo. Now this will be more of you will have word banks. So don't worry about spelling them; they're tough words to spell. And then you'll have a sentence in there that will have a blank. So it'll be a fill in the blank one with a word bank. So if I had a sentence that said something like, I the boy went to the lake but wouldn't swim because he was suffering from, you might say, hydrophobia, because of fear of water. Maybe this person, the girl on the soccer team, got a jersey with number 8 on it, and like started shaking, and then her coach said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "I suffer from octophobia, which is a fear of number 8." There is a Quizlet too. So when you go onto this is right into your Schoology. You'll see that there each one of these is on there. So if you want to see fear of heights, a lot of people have fear of heights. Arachnophobia, a lot of people have fear of spiders. Orophobia, there is like a story we're going to be talking about later on, like the Midas touch, but not too many people have a fear of gold, but maybe, but not that I know of. Carnophobia, sometimes that's just like something in your diet isn't right, like you're lacking a vitamin to be able to process it, so it's not really a phobia, but a medical condition. Chromo, if your colors, I guess you would only dress in black. So all these different ones here, you can just go through and quiz yourself. Again, there will not be spelling except for the bonus word, and that's just a fun one to see if you want to do it, which is that really long word called hippopotomonstrosesquipedaliophobia. All right, have fun this week, and then next week we'll go into, I think, numbers, and then we'll go back into our phonics program.